Well, you guys had some tough games this season defensively, but maybe I'm wrong. But this one just seemed like it was at a different level in terms, almost like a disconnect from maybe what you were trying to do game plan wise to execution. Am I reading too much into it?
I mean, I thought, quite honestly, on both ends it was that way. I thought the turnovers started early. I think it was our first or second possession we turned it over. We had 7 turnovers. We never really found a flow, so we were kind of always back on our heels for most of the game. I thought both, the offense certainly impacted, I think, our defense, and vice versa. I think our defense impacted our offense. They were just the aggressor really for the whole entire first half and every facet of the game.
Not to say one guy, the early turnovers, Josh had a couple ones that were almost just head scratching. I mean, and you pulled them after one. I mean, I'm going to talk to him about it too, but what kind of was happening from your perspective there?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think I mentioned this to you guys before the game, about defensively. I think that they've gotten a lot better, and they have, I think, physical defenders, in Matherin and Nemhard, Shepard, Siakam, long, big physical guys, and I think that we, one, needed to be a lot stronger with the ball. 2, we needed to make better, more simple decisions and try to hit singles instead of trying to make plays that, we're trying to thread the needle. And, it kind of, really broke our rhythm, I thought, offensively in the first half. And then in the second half, we had 4 turnovers. So, same team, just, we just didn't do a good enough job in that first half. I thought every facet of the first half, I mean, we were really dominated in.
Billy, with Patrick Williams, I mean, is it to the point where you're kind of head scratching why there isn't more? I mean, obviously he had the setback with the injury, but it always seems he always has a setback, or always. I mean, it seems like there should be more. You guys invested in him. There should just seem to be more. I mean, is it something you can put your thumb on and say?
Yeah, I mean, I think that clearly, tonight I could probably go down the list of everybody, on the team. He included, who I think is more than capable of playing at a higher level than he played tonight. That's kind of like the consistency part. I think that for him, just him individually, he's fighting for. I think collectively as a team, we're trying to fight for. We had obviously a hard-fought game with New York. Same thing with San Antonio. But, we go down to Washington, and not great overtime against Charlotte. I know Zach didn't play, but, just trying to find. And I didn't think that we started the game, to our identity. And I think that Patrick had every opportunity, just like every other guy did, to kind of step up and kind of, as you said, kind of cement himself in the game and make them felt in the game. And certainly for him, since you're asking about him, he did not do that. But again, I don't think it was just totally him. I thought it was, everybody.
No,
we could have been better.
Not to single him out, but it seems we asked the same question about him so many times. We're all kind of waiting to see something flash consistently, and it just doesn't come for some reason.
Yeah, and I don't know, because the minute restriction, quite honestly, has kind of been lifted off of him now from where it was. Yeah, I mean, that's what he's got to fight for as a player. I think he knows that. There were some opportunities I thought, he could have finished. He didn't finish. I did think in the second half he went to the glass at least a little bit hard. I thought our whole team played much better in the second half, just competitively. You know what I mean? So it's hard for me. I get what you're saying. Like, as you're looking at him, I agree. Him just specifically, but I think that was kind of his performance was kind of a microcosm of our entire team. Right. I mean, I think you could throw everybody in the same group on that. But I know what you're saying in terms of the up and down of an individual player. Yeah, he's got to be more consistent. Yeah, he's got to be more consistent. Got to be more consistent. Absolutely, I agree with you.
Just one more on Patrick. Is there a point, especially scoring aside, just in terms of him still struggling to make himself felt on the glass, is there a point where you could see this season maybe needing to look at a lineup change just in terms of have his involvement with the starting group, or is that just something that you guys don't have the bodies to make that switch?
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing in Patrick's defense is when you line up and you play against the Siakam, and you see it sometimes for us, and I think, like, for example, like Julian and Modest and Dalen as younger players, right? They're young, right? So they're gonna physically mature, physically get stronger. You know, Patrick has got a body where if you play against those bigger, more physical forwards that are going to go down on the post and post up, you know, instead of having a lot of times where you have to game plan to go double team them all the time and put yourself in rotation, a lot of times you feel pretty good about Patrick down there, you know, guarding them. So, you know, you can look to do that, but then you got to look at also some matchup issues too, you know, with some younger guys being put in situations that, you know, Patrick for his entire career, and rightfully so, has been going against, you know, the starters, which first unit guys, and, you know, some of the other guys have gone against second unit guys. But that's you know, what we need from him. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm thinking about making a lineup change right now, because I'm not. But I mean, if it was, I try to look at everything after every game. You know, if there's something I can do to help us get better, I'm more than happy to do that.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. Yep. Thank you, guys. Yep. Thank you.